Stop Vikings talk. It's Purple Daily on Score North and ScoreNorth.com. Purple Daily, presented by Surly Brewing Company.
Troy Aikman said this one time. He said each year is a new year for him. Each year he's a different person, so he has to be a better person. So, after 10 years, Troy Aikman probably could have just sat there and been the same Troy Aikman, and everybody would have said yeah. But now, he would say, the next year is a new year. It's like year one for me. And I say that to those guys every day in there. This is a new year. Why not you? Why not you be set the record for yards, catches in a year? Why not you? What you did last year was good. Now let's be great.
Cardell, Vikings wide receivers coach. That's also coincidentally the same pep talk Judd gives himself before each write that down season too. Listen. Let's go out there, just be you, just make those predictions, make those check down predictions, and take your game to a new level, Judd.
I say that every Wednesday, actually, Phil. So you're wrong about it's not at the start of the WTD year. Phil. It's just every Wednesday. Like, I woke up this morning, it's like, I got to be better. I got to be better.
Self-improvement Wednesday.
Boss is challenging me all the time, calling me at home. Write that down.
The boss only knows you exist once every contract negotiation.
Hello.
And then,
Yes, that's a very good point, and that's the way I'm going to keep it.
This is Purple Daily, daily Vikings entertainment. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die. It's been 60-plus years. Let's get a move on here, guys. The show is presented by our friends at Surly Brewing Company and TCL, one of the world's best-selling consumer electronics brands. They have a new lineup of award-winning TVs delivering the most entertainment with stunning resolution, all at an affordable cost. Enjoy more of the things you love with TCL. Every single Wednesday, we put our reputations and necks on the line. It is a segment we like to call Write That Down. Declan?
Most make predictions and then never admit they're wrong. Yeah, that's not Mackie and Judd. This is the place where we just totally own our horrible predictions.
Write this down.
And eat them for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Write that down.
It's Write That Down.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
With Mackie and Judd.
Yeah. Only one show in America actually puts statistics next to their predictions. When are you guys going to admit that you were wrong? Zolgad, you never admit that you were wrong. Au contraire.
Yeah.
He's doing the Matumbo finger wag.
Give me Matumbo. No, yes, I do admit I'm wrong every Wednesday. In fact, I'm shown up by my coworkers, and yet I don't rebel. I don't get mad. I don't even get defensive. I accept it. You know why? Because in the pros, you have to accept success and failure both.
Short memory. You got to have that closer's mindset. Just get back out there and sling some more takes, some more predictions.
Just like the Duff does.
I think maybe the Duff should sit on his Duff for the remainder of at least this Yankee series for sure. I don't know that we need Tyler Duffy pitching against the heart of that lineup again. But we'll talk about that on Mackie and Judd, our other daily show later today. If you are hanging out with us here on this episode of Purple Daily on the Purple Daily YouTube channel, please click the subscribe button and the like button so we can spread the word about this awesome community of Vikings fans you guys are helping us build. Here's how Write That Down works. 3 Vikings or football-related predictions from everybody each week. They must be quantifiable. Keep track of batting average on the other show, completion percentage, and touchdowns on this version. And listeners, if you want to participate like guest listener predictor Chris is about to in a couple minutes, you can send us a message through the Score North app, which is free to download. It's also where we're giving away a trip to Miami for week 6. We'll take care of tickets. We'll take care of travel for you. All you have to do is open the Score North app, register, and enter through listener rewards at any point throughout the month of June, and then we'll draw a winner sometime at the end of the month. Are you guys ready to be held accountable here?
Yes.
It's inevitable.
Okay. Not a lot of things coming off the board, again, just because we're kind of in the, we got one more mandatory mini camp today. Judd's going to be out there, and then we have the dormant period. We have some fun stuff lined up on the show over the next month and a half until training camp 2. Yes, this is a daily Viking show, even during the dead period. Judd, in your weird multi-year vendetta against one of the great tight ends in Vikings history, you correctly predicted Kyle Rudolph won't be signed by a team until June at the earliest.
Good job, Judd.
Congratulations. Shoveling dirt on Kyle Rudolph's career. Correctly.
Whatever I have to do to get my points, especially in this, write that down, I don't care. So, like, I got to do what I got to do. Oh, look at that.
Look at this. You guys are kind of shocked when I said this, but I said
That's
Chris Sims will leave Kirk Cousins outside of his top 15 quarterback rankings. That is a touchdown
I forgot about
for
this one.
old Macadac.
Yeah.
Coming off a big season, maybe his best season with the Vikings too. Some fourth quarter comebacks, and Chris Sims had him 16th.
Nice work, Macadac.
Thank you.
Very good, Mac.
That's very good.
you. All right, listeners had nothing come off the board. So I momentarily caught Declan in touchdown passes, and then he dropped back to pass with this 3-item USFL parlay last week
Oh, yeah.
and said the Bandits, the Stars, and the Stallions would all win their respective games. And 3-item parlays are usually touchdowns on this show.
Damn right.
You're kind of the
We're back.
USFL whisperer on the show.
I am. I have another one for this week that I'm very excited for, by the way. Brief tease.
Okay. Apparently we have like 2 more weeks, I think, until the playoffs start.
Yeah.
See that right?
Then it really starts. Then we're really getting into that.
You got me.
So here's what the stats look like, the standings. I have a comfortable completion percentage lead, 37.9% over Declan's 30.4%. Judd at 24.5 has finally climbed out of the cellar for the first time in, I think, months over the listeners, just percentage points separating you two. Declan leads with 6 touchdowns. I have 5. Listeners with 4. Check down Judd has 2 touchdowns so far on the season.
Why'd you have to rip me?
Well,
You finally got out of the cellar. I gave you
I've got my
praise
finger
for
on the
your-
I've got my finger on the pulse of the Purple Daily YouTube comment section, and they think you checked the ball down.
Instead of
speak the truth.
Instead of evening Judds, I think you start your next video series with check down Judd here from TCO Performance Center. You should then just morph that into your daily language. Check down Judd.
You know what? There's a lot of Judd stands, just like there's a lot of Kirk stands. Okay, you guys. So like my
is true.
statistics speak for themselves. All right.
It's a cult. Okay. It's a cult.
Tepid takes Judd here. Tepid takes
Me and
Judd
Kirk.
here for
Me and Kirk for my
Folly Coffee.
for my friends at Folly Coffee. Thank
Let's
you very
get
much.
guest listener Chris in here
Can't believe I've been criticized.
to throw some passes around the field. Also, let's stop the stat share here just to get a full view. Some people have been
Sure.
asking for us to not leave that up for like 20 minutes, and that sounds about right. So, Chris, what's going on, man? You're making this is your first ever appearance on Write That Down, right?
This is my first ever appearance on Write That Down. So
Have the nerves settled in yet? How do you feel?
you know what? I feel great. The nerves will never be higher than watching a Vikings game, so we're good.
That's true. Yeah.
Nothing-
Watching a kicker trot out there to give the Vikings a lead of some kind. Yeah.
Yeah, extra points, very, very critical.
Yeah. So, Chris, what's your strategy here as you go under center? Are you throwing the ball deep? Are you checking down? What's your strategy?
You know, the first one's going to be a check down. Been a Vikings fan for quite a while now, and I know the purple positivity tends to flow extra high through the offseason, so I have learned to expect the worst and hope for the best. So I think my Write That Downs are going to be part of that. So.
Okay, gonna reflect that
Write this
positive.
down.
All right, so we're gonna start with Chris. Go around the room. Chris, Judd, Declan, back to me, and 3 predictions each. So, Chris, go ahead. You're under center. Under center.
right.
You're not under the right guard. Just to clarify, you're under center here.
Just to clarify.
What a
So the first one's gonna be a softball. Let's be honest. Nobody wants it. It's an uncomfortable situation, but it seems inevitable. Garrett Bradbury will start at center for at least 15 games.
Oh, wow. Okay.
wow, yeah.
So
that's it.
this is kind of a parlay, and that you're also predicting he stays healthy and whatnot. But yeah, okay.
All right.
I would think he'd have to play pretty well. Like he'd have to have a career season to make it 15 games as a starter. Don't you guys think?
It depends if Chris Reed can play there or if he's not good too. In which case, if he's like not good, Bradbury starts 15 games. That's why I don't get why they don't have more of a cushion there in case, to your point, Phil.
Well, yeah. The other thing too is
That's a
I
good
think
write that down.
Chris Reed's going to start somewhere because he's just like he's a reliable interior offensive lineman.
Right guard,
he's a league average right guard. We know that.
Yep.
So to me, it's more about what's the worst evil? Is it Bradbury at center or is it Jesse Davis at right guard? Because if you feel like Jesse Davis is a better right guard than Bradbury is a center and Chris Reed can play center, then you would put Jesse Davis and Chris Reed out there, wouldn't you?
Schlottman, baby. Bring in Schlottman. It's Schlottman time.
I always forget about Schlottman, but start putting
Sometimes
some respect
Schlottman
on that
forgets
name.
about Schlottman, but that's a whole different story.
All right, Judd, your first prediction.
All right. Kevin O'Connell will receive at least 2 votes for NFL Coach of the Year in 2022.
First place votes?
So 2 votes. I looked this up from last year, and they list who gets votes. So they must be just vote. So like there must be just vote for your candidate. Okay. So it doesn't look like it's a baseball ballot. It looks like you just get votes. So if the Vikings achieve what the Vikings are hoping to achieve, KOC will certainly have had an impressive rookie year. I don't think he's going to be Coach of the Year, but I'm going to put him on at least 2, if not more, but at least 2 votes for Coach of the Year.
And if this prediction is wrong, it's not that you were wrong. It's that KOC and the Vikings didn't live up to the expectations. They crumbled under the pressure, right?
I'm putting on them right now. Exactly right. And let me tell you that heat lamp, it's hot.
The heat lamp.
That heat lamp.
Judd's heat lamp.
They are the steak that got pulled out and the server's not there yet to take it to the table. And so they put it below the heat lamp, and that heat lamp is hot.
And that's you. You're
Flat
just
iron
standing
steak.
there next
Write it down. You
to
like
the heat
writing
lamp.
things down.
All right,
I'm
Dax.
enjoying it.
All right. My first prediction. Judd was gave us a little Sean Mannion prediction. Chris, I'm just gonna mute you really quick as you're typing there. Give us a little Sean Mannion, Kellen Mond prediction yesterday during training camp. So I'm gonna quantify this in a different way. Between now and week 1 of the NFL season, the Vikings will bring in, acquire, or sign another quarterback who has made at least 5 NFL starts.
Oh.
So now they brought in Brett
like
Hundley,
this.
but he wasn't like officially signed. I still want that to count. So the Vikings will bring in, acquire, or sign another quarterback who has made at least 5 NFL starts between now and week 1 of the NFL season.
Interesting.
And so that player, if that player just practices like twice and then gets let go, it still counts then.
Still counts as long as he comes
I
into
like
a
what
training
you're doing
camp,
there, yeah.
Judd, or like or signed for a preseason game or something.
Right.
Like they will do something like that. So write it down.
I'm trying to find an updated list of quarterbacks that are available and not currently in a camp, which is a very dubious list, right? Like if you're not on a 90-man roster right now, you're probably not. But I don't know. Maybe there's a USFL. Maybe Sloter. Well, Sloter wouldn't check that box though, because he hasn't started 5 NFL games.
Correct.
But a guy like
NFL
that
games.
flashing in the USFL, you know?
Hey, how about the red hot Case Cookus right now?
Case Cookus.
Yeah, dude.
Philadelphia Stars have found themselves
The
a
Stars.
star in Case Cookus. Thank you.
Write this
Thanks,
down.
Stu.
All right, write this down. I'm gonna go on the record here with a Thomas Hennigan prediction. Appalachian State's very own.
Another one?
He's my guy. He's my Mr. Mankato, Mr. the Egan Everyman, whatever the alliteration is for their current practice facility.
You're unbelievable. Okay.
Thomas Hennigan will have a 20-yard punt return or more at some point in the preseason, and I'll stretch it out and say no, because I think he might return some kicks, but I want this to be punt focused. So a 20-yard punt return or more at some point in a preseason game. Write it down. They're going to give him a look. I'm telling you guys.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Write this down.
All right, back to Chris. Your second prediction?
Okay, second one. Could be the best pass rushing duo in the NFL. But I would like to come back down to earth a little bit, have a more realistic expectation. So either Za'Darius Smith or Danielle Hunter will end the season on IR.
Oh, wow. I'm proud of you.
It's a check down, right? Is that
I've been here long enough. I know how this
Nice
story
job,
plays
Chris.
out.
I like the pessimism. That's
so?
very
What are we doing with that? Is that? I mean, you look at their injury history, and yeah, they've spent a lot of time on IR the last couple of years. But is this a touchdown?
No.
Because they're healthy now.
No, because Smith has a bad back, which I'm skeptical about, and he slept wrong already. So no, I don't think it's a check down. It's a good
Very
pass.
solid completion. Yeah, good first down.
Exactly.
It's chunk-
right.
it's
First
chunk
down.
yardage.
It's chunk yardage with some yak.
It's an
Make no
explosive
mistake.
play. Yeah, it's an explosive
Chris
play.
got some yak right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
He broke a
Just wanna-
tackle.
Take it. I'll take it.
You
Just wanna
got it.
clarify there. All right, Judd, back to you.
All right, going outside the Vikings. Given what's transpiring in Ohio, I'm going to give you this, write this down.
Oh, God.
The Browns will win 7 games or fewer this season. Dude. This thing's spiraling. Like, Deshaun Watson cannot play. You cannot trot him on the field. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know if the league is just going to suspend him with pay again or something like that. But I mean, Baker doesn't want to come back now. He's mad. And
well, but if they suspend Deshaun Watson, the best scenario for Baker is to just play for the Browns and put up big numbers and become a free agent, right?
But my point is, so the Browns will win 7 games or fewer. My point is, this is tracking to be a football disaster too.
Yeah. And they did that contract in a very sadistically clever way too, where his base salary
like
there's if he gets suspended for the year, he loses way less money in the first year because it's such a backloaded contract.
Correct.
But if they determine that he's just a terrible human and they messed up, like they still owe him all of the other money, right? $230 million guaranteed?
I don't know what's going to happen here.
The Cleveland Browns.
But
they are back.
Write this down.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They are back.
Right.
All right. Another quarterback prediction for me. Write this down. The Raiders will sign Colin Kaepernick. I'll put an end date too by week 1. So Colin Kaepernick worked out for the Raiders, I believe, a few weeks ago. And then Derek Carr was at the podium yesterday talking about him and saying that he vouches for him and would love for him to get another opportunity. So I'll write this down. The Raiders will sign Colin Kaepernick.
Interesting. Yeah. So he went through the workout, and there were some little anonymous reports that, because it wasn't his own structured workout, he struggled a little bit more because it was more like the Raiders putting him through some stuff. But at this point, it's been 5 or 6 years.
Yep.
I think age would be the biggest concern and just lack of experience. I mean, he just hasn't played football in 5 or 6 years. Write this down. We have discovered the best and easiest and most fun way to get a sweat on sporting events through our friends at Underdog Fantasy and the Underdog Fantasy app. So football season is what I suppose a lot of you guys are going to start putting together your fantasy football plans. Well, Underdog is a great way. If you're more of like a casual fantasy football follower, or you want to be in a bunch of different leagues without having to pay super close attention to waivers and trades and lineup setting, all that stuff, this is amazing. You draft a roster through Underdog. They'll take the highest scoring players and the players who are actually healthy and playing that week, and those are your starters. You don't have to do anything. No stressing over the day-to-day or week-to-week management. And then they've got pick'em games, which you can win up to 20 times your money in one night. Just picking over-unders. So easy, Judd can use it. He's been using the Underdog Fantasy app for several weeks here.
Love it.
Thinking about a Judd empire of fantasy leagues here at some point. You can use the code SCORE, promo code SCORE, SKOR, and Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100 bonus cash. And then you can help us, too, by entering the promo code SCORE. It's a great time.
Got a finals game tonight.
Hell yeah.
Steph Curry, 4.5 3-pointers made. I might hit that over, baby. I might slam that over. I don't know. We'll see.
Overs are fun, man. Overs are a blast.
No one likes unders. Nobody likes unders. Like they're tough. They're tough.
You're rooting
Sometimes
against fun, right? You're rooting against scoring and points.
I will say,
I know what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, it depends on the player.
Under.
Yeah, depends on the player.
Player might get hurt.
Right.
A master of the unders.
Might blow out a knee. You never know what's going to happen in that game. Might go under.
Also, a shout out to our friends at Federated. So they have been raising money for Big Brothers Big Sisters since 2005, $44 million, and that's a lot of the great partners of Federated that are driving that as well. But Big Brothers Big Sisters is all about providing children facing adversity with strong, enduring, professionally supported mentorship relationships that can brighten their futures, maybe send them to better schools at some point, stronger communities, etc. There's 5,000 bigs in Minnesota right now. And so if you have interest in becoming a mentor, becoming a big, go to federatedchallenge.org to find out more information. Federatedchallenge.org.
Write this down.
All right, we are back to myself here for my second prediction. That's right. You guys thought I was going to mess up your
I thought you were winding up behind the guard. Yeah, I wasn't sure.
I never thought that.
It's just me. I'm just lined up behind the right guard. Okay, write this down. And if this has already been broken, you guys tell me. I have not seen any reports about what the Vikings team building activity is going to be tomorrow. So they're going to skip the third day of mandatory minicamp to do a team building thing. The Vikings team building activity will involve another sport of some kind.
Oh.
I don't know if it's bowling. I don't know if it's, there might be some gray area that we have to debate next week. Like if they're on a boat, is boating a sport? I don't know.
No,
it's not a sport.
No, it's got to be a.
If they have paddles, is it a sport? Probably. Ping pong, pickleball.
We'll talk about it.
I love pickleball. I just started playing pickleball. Great sport. Really fun sport.
I got friends that enjoy it a lot.
Yeah. It's usually for older people, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
No,
kind of.
Pickleball's for everybody.
Is it? Okay.
There you go. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris.
Chris is a pickleball professional, actually.
Yeah. Thank you, Chris.
Pickleball's for everybody.
Awesome. Yeah.
You all can play pickleball. Don't let anyone tell you can't play pickleball.
There's a big controversy in my dad's senior community village, if you will, down in Arizona. They're trying to get rid of some of the tennis courts and replace them with pickleball courts. Because pickleball is more popular among, the 65 and over crowd than tennis. You don't have to cover as much ground. But it's easier on the knees, I guess.
Tennis is hard, man. Tennis is tough.
It's a grind, man.
It's not easy. Mm-hmm. I retired a long time ago.
Write this down.
Anyhow, all right, back to Chris, your third and final prediction.
All right, just my last one. I know there are different reports about when he comes back, but it's a great year for a non-quarterback to win it, and the Vikings have handed the NFC North two potential candidates. So either Jamison Williams or Christian Watson will win Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Okay. All right, so you're not high on the Vikings allowing those teams to get those receivers.
Never trade with the division rival. Never.
Judd, did you feed Chris your takes and your lines? Like, did you guys collaborate before Chris came on here?
We did not talk. But I like where he's coming from here, and I'm not going to lie. I'm very proud right now.
God.
I'm very proud of Chris right now.
A proud sports
His
dad.
takes are on point.
Well, Chris, since you've got this life-changing platform here on Purple Daily, with the entire world watching and listening, is there anyone in your life you'd like to thank that brought you to this pinnacle moment?
Yeah, tons of people. Obviously, I want to thank you guys for having me on. And then I got to thank the family for putting up with all of the volatile, emotional swings that is Vikings football. Denitsa, CJ, Jace, Gemma, Sasha. My best friends, Jason Ryan, for watching a ton of games with me over the last decades. And then the homies, Mike, Brent, Corey, and Kurt, for letting me go on my salty Discord rants after Vikings losses on Sundays. So.
Love it, man. There he is. All right, Chris, good luck with your predictions.
Fine work, Chris.
Great stuff.
Fine
Pandering
work.
to Judd, also just hitting all the right notes here.
No, just because a guy has the right thought process isn't pandering to me.
Amazing. All right, see you, Chris. We'll get you on again
Chris.
for sure sometime. All right. Great stuff. All right, back to Judd.
All right, my final, I'll write that down. I actually had a Kaepernick one, but it's pretty much what Dex had and not as good, so I'm going to replace it completely with this one because it occurs to me that there will be a coaching change or two during the course of the 2022 NFL season. Matt Rule won't last the season as Carolina's coach. So Matt Rule, who right now has no quarterback, if they bring Darnold back, what are they thinking? The Garoppolo thing in San Francisco's gotten weird. I think they'd like to move him, but my guess is they're not. The offers that are coming back to San Fran aren't great, and so they're not trading him. The Baker thing's a complete mess now because Phil's right. Like, if you're the Browns, do you just trade Baker? But Baker's pissed off. So anyway, Carolina, I think it is basically in trouble with their quarterback plan. So Matt Rule won't last the season because I don't think he's a good coach either as Carolina's coach.
Where would you rank Sam Darnold among the top? He's not one of the top 32 quarterbacks, right? I'm not putting him above like Justin Fields.
No, because there's as far as I can tell now, zero upside, right?
Yeah.
Like he is who he is.
So he's outside the top 32.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield for all of his flaws and Jimmy Garoppolo for some of his flaws in the injury. I think those guys are like fringe top 20 quarterbacks in the league.
Garoppolo.
So you could make a huge upgrade by just getting one of those two guys.
Garoppolo healthy is probably far closer to Kirk than Vikings fans would like to admit.
He's above Kirk in the eyes. If you pulled NFL front offices,
yeah, because he's got a
and I know he has flaws, but Kirk has flaws too. Jimmy Garoppolo would be above Kirk Cousins, I think, if you surveyed 32 front offices.
So I don't
Healthy.
think so. I don't think that across the board in the league they dismiss wins like fans do now. You know, quarterback wins, who cares, right? I think the league looks at them and says, "No, hold on a second here. They're not the be all end all, but they're important." Garoppolo wins. So yeah, Sam Darnold. I really think he truly just sucks. Like, I don't think there's a way around.
He's not
it.
good.
Right,
He's
he's
not
not
a
good.
good football player.
So
Not good.
Matt Rule should pay the price and will.
All right, Dax, your final prediction.
All right. USFL. So there's 3
When
teams
you go to the gods, I love how the USFL
in a
prediction,
league
you always
that
bring
no
the
one
gods.
thought would be successful. So there's 3 teams that have 1 win in the USFL this season so far. The Panthers are 1-7. The Maulers are 1-7. The Gamblers are 1-7. They all
Sounds
play
like they're
this week.
not mauling very many teams.
Not gambling too hard there. So write this down. At least one of these teams, the Panthers, Maulers, or Gamblers, pick up their 2nd win of the USFL season this week. At least one of those 3 teams will pick up their 2nd win of the season.
I don't think that's a touchdown because you're putting all 3 in.
Correct. I'm giving myself a little bit of a safe space. I would say if I had to pick the favorite of those, I think the Maulers have the best chance. They're at home and they're playing the Stars, and the Stars are 5-3, where the Gamblers are on the road against the undefeated Birmingham Stallions.
Aren't
And
they
the
all?
Panthers are playing the Generals. Good
Aren't
luck.
they all playing in the same place?
Yes. Did you say playing at
Forgot
home?
about that. I like
Birmingham's
Patrick
the de
Royce.
facto-
I see the 2nd team and I just assume they're home. I forgot that it's a neutral site thing. I forgot about
And
that.
even if they were playing at
Birmingham's
home,
at
there are
home.
no fans at these. Birmingham is playing home games.
Yes,
Hey,
they're
I'm
the
just-
only
And there
home
are
team.
literally 12 fans, and they're all scouts, I think.
I'm just accurately looking at box scores and predicting them on Purple Daily. Okay, don't get too much into the weeds here. I'm just making
field
predictions.
You just made the case by saying there's home.
Yeah, never know, man.
Birmingham's on the road at Birmingham.
Okay, I'm gonna make a USFL prediction too, because I think I'm 0 for 6 on my USFL predictions. I would like to get on the board with a USFL prediction. So, the Generals and the Stallions are the 2 best teams in the USFL. I think combined they've won like 15 straight games. There's only 1 loss between the 2 teams, I want to say. So write this down. Either the Generals or Stallions will be upset in the playoffs before they reach the championship game. I believe there's only 4 playoff teams. So what I'm saying is one of them will lose in, I'm assuming it's just like a 4-team playoff bracket. I don't know for sure. One of them will lose a playoff game and be out before they reach the championship game. That's right. Upsets galore in the USFL playoffs.
I'm going to be so glad when this is all done.
Why? It's fun
USFL.
to sweat these games. We need Underdog Fantasy to put these games on their app
I think
at
they
some
do.
point.
I think they do.
Okay.
Oh, do they really?
Let's make this happen.
I think they do. I think they do some pickups.
And you know what's going to happen if the Generals or Stallions lose? They're going to have a lot more time to golf. What course should they maybe make some tee times at, Dex?
Oh, I got one. It's the Meadows at Mystic Lake, an award-winning 18-hole public golf course. It's conveniently located in the Twin Cities, right below the Twin Cities in Prior Lake. It offers a unique, challenging, and scenic golf experience. You know what? While you're there, because old Dex Tweets needs a few of these, you can book a lesson there. I'm still flirting too much over the 100. I have yet to break 100 this year. I need to consistently get under that triple-digit number. So you can book a lesson, too, at the Meadows at Mystic Lake. Book your tee time, book your lesson. Go check out their top-of-the-line equipment and apparel. Golfthemeadows.com to learn more. Golfthemeadows.com to learn more.
Maybe you can tip a beer back. Joe. You're not going to probably pull out the clubs, but you'd happily sit shotgun and hold a can of Furious or something for Declan.
Exactly
That'd
right.
be great.
Or my new friend Logic Bomb, because Surly right now in again, folks, coming up in just basically 2 weeks, the summer of Surly. Surly has so many good choices and so many good beers, and many of them are all about summertime. Now, of course, as Phil just said, I'm a Furious guy at heart, but I can tell you right now, go to that liquor store, you see all of those good sippin' Surly beers for the summer of Surly, and you say to yourself, I might mix it up. So anyway, check it out. And of course, when you do, and you've got the cans and you're at home and you're drinking one, well, we want you to show us your cans. At JZolgad on Twitter, we always appreciate it. The summer of Surly, it's real and it's coming.
It's real, and it's magnificent. All right, what are people saying about the Vikings here before we say goodbye? We like to just, it's fun to see what the national perception is. What are people saying about the Vikings internally sometimes? Well, this one comes from Cynthia Freeland, NFL.com. And this is a blurb from earlier in the week. We went through some of the Vegas over-under win totals, the analytical projections, and Cynthia Freeland, I believe, had the Vikings on 8.8 wins or something, 8.9, somewhere just
Yes.
sort of 9 wins in her simulations.
Yep.
And this is what she wrote about the Vikings. Minnesota is one of my favorite teams that we aren't talking enough about as a postseason contender. That said, the Vikings have 2 separate 3-game stretches that my models suggest could make their road to the playoffs difficult. The first is a bit surprising and a function of their travel schedule, as they do not have a bye after facing the Saints in England in Week 4. They return from overseas to host the Bears in Week 5, then travel to Miami in Week 6 before their Week 7 bye. So she's saying, travel all the way to London, hopefully win that game. If you lose, it's problematic because now you're traveling all the way back, no bye week. You are playing the Bears, which is basically like a bye, but they're still an NFL team. And then you travel back across to the East Coast to play a rock-solid Miami team. I think we look at that and say, okay, none of those 3 teams are daunting teams that you should be able to spar with those teams or beat those teams or be favored. But the travel schedule in and around those, what really amounts is like it's 2 weeks where you're coming back from London, playing the Bears, and then you're going back across over to Miami. And then she adds, the Vikings' second rough patch starts at Buffalo in Week 10, the second of back-to-back road games, which is followed by home games against Dallas and New England, with the latter coming on a short week, Thanksgiving night.
That's it. That is, to me, 1,000% correct. The last one is going to be tough. Like, that one gets to be, that's a problem. And I got to tell you right now, I would rather come back from London to here and play the Bears than play the Patriots on Thursday after a Sunday game. I think that's tougher. I think the first 3-game stretch, I think 2-1 is very doable if this team is good. I think the next stretch, I don't know. Like that second 3-game stretch to me is legit very difficult, probably.
Yeah, these are it's so like if you beat the Saints in London, it kind of gives you some leeway to lose one of those next 2 games. If you lose to the Saints, it's like, okay, now you're coming back, weird travel week, Bears, road game against Miami.
Yeah.
I think the Miami game is the most problematic because it's a solid team. I think they're going to be better coached offensively for sure. And, well, I don't know about better coached overall because Brian Flores was a really good coach, but it just feels like that team is
Tua good? Like,
Yeah.
I have no clue about Tua right now.
But they did add Tyreek Hill. But it's a tough beat on the road, and I think that the travel is going to catch up to you at some point.
Sure.
So we'll see. So that's what Cynthia
2-1's
Freeland
fine though, right? That stretch. If you beat the Saints, you beat the Bears, and lose to the Dolphins, I think you're privately pretty satisfied.
Yeah, unless you start the season. But if you start the season 0-2, I mean, this is where
that could change everything.
Although I think I have them starting 0-2, and then don't they play the Lions in Week 3? So then they win, and then going 2-1. So I've got them 3-3 going into the bye, which whatever. So that's Cynthia Freeland from NFL.com. Before we say goodbye, if you're looking to get in shape for the summer, Judd Zulgad has been in shape for like 9 months now and coasting into the summer with the summer of ripped abs. Very exciting.
Oh, yeah. Ripped abs is right. Exactly right. Down 40 pounds thanks to my friends at Livia Weight Control Centers. And I want you to join me right now. And I've got a plan for you. It's called the Simple Start Plan, $59. That's right, $59 to lose the weight. And here's the best part, because it's the phase that I'm in now. Keep the weight off. You get one-on-one personalized and guided support online or in person from the Livia team of experts. $59. It's this simple. 855-GO-LIVEA, Livia.com, Livea, Livia.com. lose the weight. And then, like I said, the most important part, keep the weight off in town or out of town. They can help you. Livia.com is where you start for answers.
If you missed it yesterday, mandatory minicamp going on. Judd brought 5 very interesting mandatory minicamp observations, including Danielle Hunter as a chess piece and a switching officially of positions for Danielle Hunter. So check that episode out from yesterday. You're going to head out there in a couple hours again for really it's like the last practice and availability until 6 weeks from now, training camp. And so we'll do that whole recap on tomorrow's episode of Purple Daily. If you want to hear Declan bitch about the Twins for like 30 minutes, Mackie and Judd today off of another Yankees loss last night. So, yeah, plenty of stuff for you guys. This is Daily Vikings Entertainment here on Purple Daily. See you tomorrow.